the labyrinthine dance of commitment, or rather, the artful sidestep around it. In today's tale, we venture into the intricate world of avoidant attachment, a curious realm where the surprising reason avoidants avoid commitment takes center stage. Imagine, if you will, a grand ballroom where partners twirl gracefully, except for a few who seem to always hover near the exit sign, eyeing it with a peculiar mix of longing and trepidation. You see, dear listener, the avoidance journey often begins in the most unexpected place: childhood. Imagine a young child, an observer of the world, who learns early that comfort may not always come from others. Perhaps they witness a parent who is emotionally distant or preoccupied, not out of malice, but circumstances, a demanding job, or their own unresolved emotional struggles. The child learns the subtle art of self-reliance, finding solace in solitude and the predictable rhythms of their own company. It's not that they despise connection, rather they've learned to mistrust its permanence. Consider for a moment the tale of a young artist named Julian. Julian is a creature of habit, a man whose life is a carefully curated museum of personal artifacts. He relishes in the solitude of his studio, where the silence is broken only by the gentle scratch of his brush against canvas. His art speaks volumes, yet his conversations remain carefully guarded. When asked about love, Julian often compares it to a vivid painting he once admired from afar, beautiful yet untouchable, lest his touch mar its perfection. Julian's story is not unique, for avoidants are the architects of their own emotional fortresses, built to protect the heart's most vulnerable chambers. These fortresses are not imposing structures of stone, but rather delicate webs spun from a history of perceived disappointments and unmet needs. The surprising reason avoidants avoid commitment lies in the paradox of their desires, the longing for closeness, tempered by an equally powerful fear of engulfment. And so, we find ourselves in the company of avoidants who navigate relationships like skilled chess players, always thinking 2 moves ahead. They are adept at maintaining a careful balance, ensuring that emotional intimacy never tips the scales into overwhelming vulnerability. It's a dance of proximity and distance, where the music never quite swells into a crescendo. Yet, as with all great tales, there is an unexpected twist. The avoidance journey is not one of perpetual evasion, but rather of gradual discovery. Through the gentle persistence of partners who understand the rhythm of their retreat and return, avoidants may learn to trust the delicate strands of connection. These partners, much like patient gardeners, tend to the seeds of intimacy, allowing them to flourish at their own pace. Imagine a couple, Amelia and Thomas. Amelia, with her warm smile and open heart, is drawn to Thomas's quiet strength. She senses the fortress he has built, yet she is not deterred. Instead, she approaches with empathy and understanding, offering a safe haven where his defenses can slowly lower. In time, Thomas learns that commitment is not a cage, but a shared journey. He discovers that vulnerability, rather than a weakness, is a bridge to deeper connection. In this tale, avoidants are not cast as villains, but as complex characters on a path of self-discovery. They remind us that commitment is not a destination, but a journey that requires patience, compassion, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. For in the heart of every avoidant lies a desire to love and be loved, even if it takes a longer, more winding road to reach that destination. And so, dear listener, as we conclude this exploration of the surprising reason avoidants avoid commitment, let us remember that the dance of intimacy is one that invites all to take part, regardless of the tempo at which they choose to move. For in the end, it is the courage to step onto the floor that matters most, and the understanding that sometimes the most beautiful dances are those that begin with a single, tentative step.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.